Have you ever pondered on the chilling thought of the Earth sinking, specifically in the Arctic region? It's a concept that seems plucked straight from the pages of a science fiction novel. Yet it's a stark reality we're grappling with today. In the far reaches of our planet, where the cold is unyielding and the landscape a canvas of ice and snow, the Earth is giving way, sinking into itself. This is not a tale to be spun by scaremongers, but a matter of scientific fact. The Arctic, the northernmost part of our world, is experiencing a phenomenon that's causing the very ground beneath to sink. The implications of this occurrence are vast, far-reaching, and to be frank, quite alarming. The Arctic isn't just a remote, icy wilderness, it's a vital part of our planet's ecosystem and plays a crucial role in regulating global temperatures. So, what happens when this icy shield starts to sink? Join us as we dive into the icy depths of this phenomenon. Firstly, we need to understand the Arctic's icy shield, the permafrost. Permafrost is a layer of permanently frozen soil that blankets the Arctic regions. It's not just a seasonal frost that comes and goes with the winter months, but rather a solid, icy barrier that has remained frozen solid for thousands of years. This icy shield plays a crucial role in the Arctic's ecosystem. It forms a sturdy, rigid platform for life in the Arctic, supporting everything from the large polar bears to the smallest microscopic organisms. The permafrost also acts as a natural storage unit, preserving organic materials like dead plants and animals, which are frozen in time within its icy confines. But the permafrost is more than just a frozen graveyard. It's also a vast storehouse of carbon, hoarding more than twice the amount of carbon currently in our atmosphere. This carbon is locked away in the frozen soil, kept safe from the warming effects of the sun and the atmosphere. However, the permafrost's role extends beyond the Arctic. It affects global climate patterns too. As it remains frozen, it keeps this immense stockpile of carbon out of the atmosphere, helping to curb the effects of global warming. But here's the thing. This icy shield isn't as permanent as its name suggests. It's sensitive to changes in temperature. As the Earth warms, the permafrost begins to thaw and melt, a process that can lead to a whole host of problems. When the permafrost melts, it's like opening Pandora's box. The carbon stored within it is released into the atmosphere in the form of greenhouse gases, contributing to global warming. This, in turn, causes more permafrost to melt, setting off a dangerous chain reaction. Moreover, the melting permafrost disrupts the Arctic landscape. It leads to ground subsidence, creating sinkholes and causing the land to buckle and warp. This not only changes the physical landscape, but also impacts the Arctic's wildlife and plant life, disrupting their habitats and ways of life. So, when this permafrost melts, it causes a significant shift in the Arctic landscape. Now that we know what permafrost is, let's delve into why it's melting. Permafrost is frozen soil, rock, or sediment packed with ice, which remains at or below freezing for 2 or more consecutive years. But this once permanent frost isn't so permanent anymore. The main culprits behind the thawing permafrost are climate change and global warming. Let's break this down. Earth's climate is like a giant thermostat, and greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide act as the dial. When we burn fossil fuels for energy, we turn up the dial by releasing more of these gases into the atmosphere. This process traps heat, causing our planet's average temperature to rise, a phenomenon we know as global warming. Now, how does this affect our permafrost? Well, the Arctic is warming twice as fast as the rest of the world. This rapid warming is causing the permafrost to thaw and melt at an alarming rate. But there's more to this story. As the permafrost melts, it releases carbon dioxide and methane, 2 potent greenhouse gases, into the atmosphere. This creates a vicious cycle. The more permafrost melts, the more greenhouse gases are released and the more the Earth warms up. This is what scientists refer to as a feedback loop, and it's accelerating global warming at a pace faster than initially predicted. In addition to this, the melting permafrost is causing the ground to become less stable. Buildings, roads, and other infrastructures built on permafrost are at risk of collapsing as the ground beneath them thaws. This isn't a problem for the future. It's happening right now. Entire communities in the Arctic are grappling with the consequences of a rapidly changing landscape. This is not just a local issue. The ramifications of melting permafrost extend far beyond the Arctic. The increasing amounts of greenhouse gases released from the thawing permafrost could significantly amplify global warming, affecting climates and ecosystems around the world. As the permafrost melts, the land above it, in essence, the Earth, starts to sink. So how exactly does the Earth sink in the Arctic region? Well, the answer lies in a process known as thermokarst formation and subsidence. As permafrost, the permanently frozen layer of soil, begins to thaw due to rising global temperatures, it triggers a chain reaction that leads to the sinking of the Earth. You see, permafrost is more than just frozen soil. It's an intricate network of ice, rock, and organic matter that has been frozen solid for thousands of years. When this permafrost thaws, it doesn't just turn into a puddle of water. Instead, the ice within the permafrost melts, causing the ground to lose its rigidity and structure. The rock and soil that was once supported by the ice now has nothing to stand on, leading to the formation of thermokarst. Thermokarst is a kind of landscape that forms when ice-rich permafrost thaws. It's characterized by very uneven surfaces of marshy hollows and small hills. As more and more permafrost thaws, more and more thermokarst landscapes emerge, causing the ground to sink and collapse in a process known as subsidence. Subsidence is a slow process. The ground doesn't just sink overnight, instead it gradually settles over time as the ice within the permafrost continues to melt. The more the permafrost thaws, the more the ground sinks, creating a vicious cycle that's hard to break. It's also worth noting that this isn't just a surface-level problem. The thawing of permafrost can also lead to destabilization of the Earth's crust. This can result in seismic activity, including earthquakes, further contributing to the sinking of the Earth. All of this means that we're not just dealing with a melting ice problem, we're dealing with a sinking Earth problem. And as our planet continues to warm, this problem is only going to get worse. The sinking of the Earth, then, is a direct consequence of our changing climate. The sinking Earth isn't just a geological phenomenon, it severely impacts the Arctic ecosystem. This vast, icy expanse is home to a unique array of wildlife and flora, each adapted to survive in one of the harshest environments on our planet. But as the permafrost melts and the land sinks, their very existence is threatened. Consider the polar bear, a majestic creature that has become the poster child for the effects of climate change. Polar bears rely on sea ice to hunt for seals, their main source of food. But as the ice melts away, these formidable predators are left to starve, their hunting grounds disappearing beneath their paws. It's not just the polar bears that are in danger. Seabirds like the Arctic tern, known for its incredible migratory journey, find their nesting grounds washed away by the rising sea levels. The delicate balance of predator and prey is disrupted, with ripple effects cascading throughout the food chain. The Arctic's flora, too, is feeling the impact. The tundra's permafrost acts like a freezer, preserving ancient plant life and carbon. As this permafrost thaws, it releases not only these ancient plants, but also vast amounts of carbon dioxide and methane, potent greenhouse gases that exacerbate global warming. Human settlements are not immune to this change. Indigenous communities, who have lived in harmony with this harsh landscape for thousands of years, find their homes sinking into the earth. Their traditional ways of life, hunting, fishing, and herding reindeer, are becoming more difficult and dangerous as the land changes beneath their feet. The Arctic is a barometer for the health of our planet. The changes we see here are a stark warning of the consequences of our actions. As the Arctic sinks, it takes with it a rich and diverse ecosystem. The loss of this unique environment would not only be a tragedy in its own right, but also a dire warning of the challenges our planet faces in the face of climate change. As we've seen, the sinking Earth in the Arctic region is a serious issue. We've delved into the icy shield of the Arctic, a formidable fortress that is succumbing to the relentless force of climate change. The melting permafrost, a once sturdy and reliable foundation, is now turning into a fluid mess, causing the ground to sink beneath our feet. We've explored how this sinking Earth phenomenon is not just a geographical anomaly, but a stark warning for all of us. The impacts are far-reaching, extending to the fragile Arctic ecosystem. The intricate web of life that thrives in the frosty north is now at risk, threatened by an unstable ground and changing climate. This sinking Earth is not just an Arctic problem, it's a global concern, a testament to the havoc that climate change can wreak. It's a stark reminder that the health of our planet is in our hands. So, let's act before it's too late.